Hello, sports fans. Welcome to Howard on Sports. My name is Lean Gene Okerlund, and I'm interviewing Horrible Howard about his upcoming match. Horrible, tell us what you're going to do to your opponent. I'm going to take his brain and smash it into dust and sprinkle it over my Rice Krispies and eat them for breakfast. Okay, so that was ridiculous, but I am willing to make a fool out of myself for my channel. Anyway, so we're talking about professional wrestling. Is it a sport? Well, before I answer that question, a brief background with my history watching professional wrestling. I got into professional wrestling in 1982. My friend, he calls himself Art now, but back then he was Arthur. So Arthur got me into professional wrestling, and I really liked it. I was obsessed with it for a while. I watched it every Saturday morning until my friends decided to join a bowling league, and I went with them. So I kind of gave that up and gradually lost interest in it. Maybe like 3 years later, I would say. So definitely in high school, wasn't into it anymore. But I was quite into it for a while. My dad even took me to a few matches. Um, I saw Bob Backlund, who was the champion for many years, lose to the Iron Sheik in person, which is, definitely a piece of history that I witnessed. So, speaking of Bob Backlund and the Iron Sheik, those two wrestlers had a background in amateur wrestling and were definitely athletes. Probably could have participated in other sports, right? They were definitely athletes, but they chose professional wrestling for whatever reason. So I would say professional wrestlers are clearly athletes, but I don't think professional wrestling is a sport because the outcome is predetermined. When I first started watching, I wasn't sure about that. I thought maybe it was real. Like, how naive was I, right? But everyone knows the outcome of the match is predetermined. So I would say not a sport. But the wrestlers are definitely athletes. Like I said, Bob Backlund, the Iron Sheik, Ric Flair. Ric Flair also had an amateur wrestling background. Ric Flair was a great athlete. He also was very entertaining in the interviews, unlike me. So, yeah, he was considered by many the best wrestler of all time because he had both things going. He was entertaining outside of the ring and inside of the ring. Also, I would say Jimmy Snuka was a cliff diver. And so he would stand on the top rope and then he would go like this and then jump off the top rope and smash his opponent. So he had great balance because he was a cliff diver. So he was also an athlete. So again, I will reiterate, professional wrestlers, definitely athletes. Professional wrestling, not a sport.